Alright, let's see if we could follow one of those games for a little while longer. No, we have the Albin counter Gambit, something we're very unlikely to see in the World Championship. That would be cool, but I don't know about that. I think knight out right away is best. And then e3. Doing e3, you're going to get in big trouble if you do that. If you do e3. And I'm not really so familiar with this opening. And I really don't like that Gambit. I'm very tempted to just say, you know what, take that pawn back. I really just want to play e6 right here. I don't want to go into Gambit mode here. How about just e6? e6, bishop takes, e3. I'm stuck, can you tell? I'm tongue-tied as well. I don't know what to say about this opening in this position. Take on f6? Do I push forward with e6? I don't think that this is good. I really don't want to enter a Gambit, but might I be having to just go in that direction? Well, I'm going to chop. Just going to take it and follow up with my light square bishop, of course, coming on g2. And, well, I'd like to get in b4 eventually and maybe work against this pawn. I have to be very careful because very soon we could just have opposite sides castling. And my opponent could maybe be running for some battery along this diagonal, the removal of a very important defender of my eventual kingside castled position. And, you know, something like h5, h4 stuff could not be, well, it could be happening not too long off. Okay. Here we go, bishop g4, pressure on my knight. I need to get developed. Okay, preparing this. Might want to kick that bishop away. Yeah, get out of there, bishop. I don't want to allow the light square bishop exchange. Nope. Okay, well, if I take with my e-pawn, this guy becomes passed. If I take with my bishop, I can't castle so quickly. Because I'd be dropping my h3 pawn. Decisions. I do have the bishop pair now. Take with my bishop or pawn. How about I just take the bishop with my bishop and then come back to g2 and then castle. Chop, come back, castle, and everything is okay. I don't know if I could say everything's okay. This is time is going to be a big factor. That's why I'm kind of questioning the decision to take with my bishop here. Do I have the time? Should I be able to? Should I be devoting such time to that? I'm gonna allow this pawn to be passed. Time I'm viewing as a greater factor than you know, than anything here. So let me castle. And, well, if this pawn presses forward, I can't play knight c3 because of d2 and my bishop is crunched. So, just want to avoid that. And in the meantime, where's this bishop going to go? I could be expanding on the queen side. I could be playing f4. In fact, this is something I'll want to do. If h5 is played, I think I meet that with h4. And I really just want to keep a grip over the g5 square if h5 is played. So I think I'll have an easier time defending my king having a group of 4 pawns here. And this is something I just did not even consider. Should this be something I cringe at here? Knight putting pressure on this pawn. Could play queen up. Yeah, what's wrong with just queen up? There's nothing wrong with that. There's 2 good reasons for this. 1, watch the pawn, and 2, blockade that pawn. The queen is a terrible blockader, but she's just going to have to deal with it for right now. I'd like to just kick this knight away. In fact, my first thought was just play b3. And it's usually best to avoid situations where you're tying your own pieces down to the defense of the pawns. But keep in mind, I just want to alleviate this situation that my queen is in by playing b4. Kick that guy away. He's a bug. And I'll have to be concerned about knight e5 moves, but I think that's met with f4. 2 good reasons for it. Just watch over e5 and let the bishop see. So I think right now I do this. Maintain my queen position, maintain the blockade, let my bishop see, and follow-up moves. Maybe b4, maybe knight d2, and, well, actually, where else is my knight going to go? Probably has to go here. Knight out or pawn to b4, those are the only 2 moves I'm considering. I'm gonna play this. Just, you know, maybe there'd be a5, although I'm not so sure about that. And now, knight here. It's the only spot it could go. And, well, I guess everything is falling into place here. You kind of have to go with these moves. There's not a better way to really reorganize my minor pieces. So bishop b2 coming up, and then I'm in a spot to contest the only open file. So here we go. I could kick this knight away with b5. However, I might first want to play knight b3 so that after b5 the knight can't make use of a5. It'd have to run in reverse. I could also think about c5 and then knight c4. This would be a nice improvement for this guy. It does, however, allow for a knight to pivot on d5, and this move, I believe, can't be right. Or can it? Because I could rip open the b file now. This is a hook. b5, some file will open up completely, or, well, it would be half open or completely open. So b5? Yes. Let's go with it. This is the right thing to do. My other thought was play rook to e1, but let's open stuff up. a6 was something to just avoid. Keep those pawns back as far as possible. Ooh, that must have been a mouse slip. I threw out a take back there. That had to be a mouse slip right there. Pawn takes was probably meant. There we go. And now the knight, I guess, is running here, but I have the c file to be playing on. And I'm going to go with this rook right here. Purposeful. And maybe I still have thoughts of bringing this rook to this square, so that's why I went with this one to c1. Knight c4 threatens knight b6, which is killer. If knight plays here, I could take this bishop, or this pawn, but my bishop would end up in a pin after the knight moves again. These two guys come right to life. Less than 30 for black. Time issue. Big time issue. What's the scoop here? Ooh, I'm seeing some sneakiness. Like queen out here or something. Someday. Time. Time is a big issue here. Okay, this is a problem. I'm on the rook. The knight is in a pin. Queen here is possible. That's my first thought. Yep, I'm on the knight. The knight's pinned on c7. Pressure on b7. No time for black in the complications. Alright, good game. Let's back up. Let me flip the board and see how things were from your perspective. So the Albin counter Gambit, if you're looking for more information on it, it's ECO code D08. A3, keep in mind the E3 move, you end up getting killed. It's an easy trap to fall into. If you play E3 challenging this guy, there's bishop check. That's why I'm playing A3 to watch over B4 and looking forward to expanding. How could black have played a bit different? I think it has to do with this decision to take my knight. I think things are pretty comfortable for me after this exchange, and you know, he's passed, but I don't know. Your knight's going a bit astray when he goes to A5. I don't know if that's an inconvenience. I just blockade, defend, and I get this move in with tempo eventually. So I think the turning point, one of them at least, this is the one that's, in my mind at least, is the decision, again, to take the knight after your bishop's challenged, maybe coming back here. And then it's a bit uncomfortable for me. I can't castle immediately. That's where the uncomfort is, coming from here. So I think right there, don't take the knight and just come back to e6. That might have been something my opponent was considering. But anyhow, I'm thinking that that was another one to be going with. Keeping pressure on h3, the main point there. I think things tip in my favor. I am up a pawn. And as soon as I get developed, where, I'm not seeing where the compensation is, and if you can't remove the queen from this blockade square on d3, then it's not really much going on. Keep in mind what a6 is really doing. It's helping white get in an open file, so you'll definitely want to steer clear from doing a6, but I think no matter what's played on the black end here, it's still very difficult. Rooks are in good spots, but there's not really a fantastic way to make a good improvement from here.